U.S. lawmakers arrive in Taiwan to talk trade, investment, and regional security. Taiwan rallies support for Japan after a devastating magnitude 7.1 earthquake in Kumamoto. Hong Kongers gather in Taipei to say a final goodbye to exiled bookseller Lam Wing-kee. Plus, Japan unveils Taiwan's next generation of bullet trains. A warm welcome to TaiwanPlus News. I'm Betty Chen. A group of American lawmakers is in Taiwan for a 3-day visit. As Leslie Liao reports, the delegation is here with a message for their local counterparts.
U.S. Representative Young Kim of California is leading a group of bipartisan lawmakers to Taiwan. The delegation is here with a message that bilateral ties between U.S. and Taiwan remain strong and that Taipei plays a key role in the global order. Kim also had a message for Taiwan's legislature.
We come to Taiwan at a very important moment. The unholy alliance between China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea is growing bolder and stronger every day. We hope that the legislative yuan can send a strong demand signal to build and buy as many drones as possible and do it quickly.
Taiwan President Lai met with the delegation, where he also voiced strong support for a bigger drone program.
无人载具已经成为现代防卫不可或缺的战力，各国都在寻找安全可靠的供应来源。台湾具备半导体、资通讯、精密制造等优势。 正迎来无人机产业发展的重要机会。
Taiwan's opposition-held legislature is in a back and forth with the cabinet over the country's drone program. The government has proposed a $6.6 billion special defense budget for drone procurement, but it's stalled in the legislature. The delegation's visit comes at an uncertain time for U.S.-Taiwan relations. U.S. President Donald Trump is expected to meet Chinese leader Xi Jinping in September. Trump has also yet to approve a $14 billion arms sale package to Taiwan, with some worried that the deal is tied to Washington's relationship with Beijing. But earlier this month, U.S. Congress approved about $500 million in military financing for Taiwan, showing that while the Trump administration may not be as decisive with their Taiwan policy, Taipei still enjoys bipartisan support from U.S. Congress and is seen as a key partner, just as this trip is meant to show. Luffy Li and Leslie Liao in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Top U.S. trade officials say they urge China's vice premier to honor commitments on rare earths and agricultural goods. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said on social media that he and U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer had spoken to Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng. Bessent said Washington wants a more balanced and fair economic relationship. Chinese state media said Beijing raised serious concerns over U.S. trade restrictions, but that both sides agreed to expand cooperation and build a positive trade relationship. It marks the first direct talks between He, Bessent, and Greer since U.S. President Donald Trump met with Chinese President Xi Jinping in May. The two leaders are expected to meet again in September. The U.S. government is planning a huge injection of funds for its critical tech sectors. The Commerce Department has pledged a total of $874 million for 7 companies in the country's AI and semiconductor supply chains. It's part of a broader government push to boost domestic high-tech industries and reduce dependence on foreign companies. The government says it is tightening measures to block goods linked to forced labor after the U.S. raised concerns over the issue. The economic and labor ministries will work together to compile information and review cases linked to forced labor. A 12-member cross-agency committee will determine whether any imports should be barred from entering the country. The U.S. recently announced new tariffs on over 80 countries, citing lapses in forced labor enforcement, with Taiwan receiving a 10% levy. Last year, U.S. Customs detained Giant Bicycles' Taiwan-made products over forced labor. The company denies the charge. Support for Japan is pouring in from Taiwan after a powerful earthquake struck Kumamoto on Tuesday, killing at least 30 people. Reese Ayers reports.
Fighting against the clock and the mercury. Rescue efforts continue in Japan's Kumamoto prefecture after Tuesday's magnitude 7.1 earthquake, which has killed at least 34 people and left around 24 others missing. An intense heat wave is sweeping the region as teams continue to pick through the debris of a mall explosion and a paper factory collapse, looking for survivors. For the thousands living in evacuation centers, the struggle continues.
The hardest thing is having essential services cut off, water and electricity, especially in this heat at this time of year. And then there's the food shortage.
Thousands of military and emergency personnel are working around the clock to rescue survivors and to distribute vital supplies. Help is coming from across the water in Taiwan too. Search and rescue teams remain on high alert, ready to deploy within hours of a request from Tokyo. To channel public support, Taiwan's foreign ministry announced a dedicated disaster relief account, which will open for public donations on August 1st. And at the highest levels of government, leaders are stepping up with personal contributions.
赖总统、肖副总统以及行政院主院长都高度关切灾情，决定以个人的身份各自捐新台币20万元。台湾和日本常年互相扶持，患难与共。我政府将持续掌握灾情，并且提供必要的协助。
Support spans across party lines. Kuomintang Chair Zheng Li-wen visited the Japan-Taiwan Exchange Association in Taipei on Friday morning, presenting a donation to Japan's representative to Taiwan, Katayama Kazuyuki, as a gesture of solidarity.
在台湾，我们也地处地震带，所以当发生了强震之后，我们定当发挥人机己机、人逆己逆的精神，希望第一时间帮熊本的朋友们加油打气。
As rescue teams in Kumamoto race against the clock, Taiwan is mobilizing help on all fronts. Now, over 3 days since the quake, the window for finding more survivors is closing. For the thousands displaced, the process of rebuilding begins. Hank Xu and Rees for TaiwanPlus.
Hong Kongers and Taiwanese have gathered in Taipei for a memorial service for Hong Kong bookstore owner Lam Wing-kee, who died earlier this month. Tiffany Wong has more.
Singing Amazing Grace in Cantonese, Hong Kongers in Taiwan say goodbye to bookseller Lam Wing-kee at a church in Taipei. The dissident bookseller died on July 2nd in a hospital in Taipei after a battle with lung cancer, leaving behind his iconic Causeway Bay books, which had found a new home in Taipei after the 2019 Hong Kong anti-extradition protests. Hong Kongers living in Taipei came to mourn the shop owner, who stood as a symbol of resistance and freedom in their community. Like Hong, who first heard of Lam on the news in Hong Kong, but later got to know him after moving to Taiwan. He says Lam was an inspiration for many young Hong Kongers.
He told me to read more books. He thinks that being brave is not enough. If you want to gain more, if you want to achieve our goals, we must have knowledge.
Lam's bookstore was known for selling politically sensitive books. In 2015, he and several associates disappeared after being detained by Chinese authorities. He managed to get out of detention and spoke out against the authorities, though several of his colleagues have still not re-emerged. In 2019, he brought Causeway Bay Books to Taipei, where it served as a safe space for other Hong Kong exiles, and became, to many, a symbol of democratic freedoms against authoritarian pressure. At the memorial, many high-profile politicians came to pay their respects, including Premier Zhou Rongcai and Mainland Affairs Council Minister Chiu Chui-zhen.
就如赖总统所说的，林隆基先生的离开让人人悲伤，但是他留下的勇气不会消失。台湾会记得，有一位香港的书店人。 曾经用最平凡也最坚定的方式，告诉我们自由有多珍贵，也提醒我们民主需要一代又一代 任所有人的努力守护。
Many remembered Lam's defiance against Beijing's crackdown on his bookstore and freedom of speech in Hong Kong as a symbol of the fight against oppression, especially as independent bookstores in Hong Kong continued to be shut down.
他们可以关闭一间书店，他们可以没收一本书，甚至他们可以让一个人离开世界，但是真理仍然活着。圣经里面告诉我们。 耶稣告诉他的门徒说：“你们必认识真理，真理必使你们得自由。”
As Lam Wing-kee's story comes to a close, the truth he told will continue to live on in the people he inspired and the community he made in his home away from home, where his ashes will remain. Chen and Tiffany Wong in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Coming up, from oil shortages to back sharing, Taiwan is rethinking its daily plastic usage.
There's so many things that I wish the world could see.
It is amazing to watch this captain maneuver this giant ship.
It takes 3 days to cook this. The flavor is unbelievable, incredible.
And it's my turn to make something inspired by Chef Gore.
It's going to be quite a challenge. Can you imagine that?
It's surreal, yet so real.
I can't give up.
I got some ass kicking to do.
Nice move.
We're pushing each other to explore and experiment in new, different ways.
5, 4, 3, 2.
A warm welcome to TaiwanPlus News.
Exploring the issues that matter to you.
Not just to Taiwan, the whole world is watching.
很多时候是我们眼睛看不到的地方。
We might encounter mishaps and mistakes along the way. But at the end of the day,
it just transmits something straight from the heart.
Yes. Cheers.
Bon appetit. It is about the fun, and it's about the glamour, and it's also about something much deeper than that.
Sometimes you just gotta seize the opportunity. You just gotta do it.
Have a place where you're appreciated for you exactly as you are, and where you can shine and be seen.
For more stories from Taiwan and around the world, download the TaiwanPlus app and follow us on social media.
For more stories from Taiwan and Osaka, download the TaiwanPlus app.
Welcome back. You're watching TaiwanPlus News. Taiwan's high-speed rail network has unveiled next-generation trains from Japan. The new fleet is expected to begin carrying passengers next July, boosting capacity by more than 25%. Lily Lamatina reports.
As the screen opens, Taiwan's high-speed rail's newest train rolls into view. The N700 ST was unveiled in Japan, with a video showing the train making its symbolic journey to Taiwan. More than 200 officials and industry representatives from Taiwan and Japan attended the ceremony. It marks another milestone in a partnership that made Taiwan the first overseas operator of Japan's Shinkansen, or bullet train, technology.
预计在明年7月1号正式上线，而这12组新车陆续上线后，提升尖峰的运能达到25%以上。也因为台湾半导体产业独步全球的特殊地位，更让台湾高铁从台湾动脉进一步成为肩负细岛动脉的交通运具。
The first train is expected to arrive in Taiwan as early as August for testing. By 2028, all 12 trains are expected to be operating, increasing the total fleet to 46 trains and easing pressure on one of Taiwan's busiest transportation networks.
I sincerely hope these trains will become familiar to more people in Taiwan and contribute to Taiwan's development. I also hope they become a symbol of friendship and trust between Japan and Taiwan for years to come.
The ceremony was overshadowed by the deadly earthquake in Kumamoto earlier this week. Organizers opened the event by expressing condolences to the victims, and Japan's transport minister canceled his planned appearance. Taiwan High-Speed Rail says the additional trains will help meet growing demand. And as the new trains are put into service, it also symbolizes the partnership between Taiwan and Japan taking another step forward. Ryan Wu and Lily Lamattina for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's second quarter real GDP likely increased by nearly 13% compared with the same period last year. In its preliminary estimates, the Government Statistics Bureau cited strong export performance during the current AI boom. Its figure is also higher than other forecasts. Economists say the boom is spreading beyond the technology sector into exports, capital investment, and domestic demand. They say these spillover effects from surging AI demand would benefit the overall economy. Taiwan's stock market has posted its biggest closing point gain on record. Taiwan's benchmark index, the TAIEX, surged more than 3,000 points on Friday, closing up 7.98%. It comes after a week of heavy tech and AI sell-offs. Analysts say a streak of favorable earnings by Taiwan's tech heavyweights has calmed investor nerves. Other Asian markets also bounced back, with South Korea's KOSPI jumping nearly 18% and Japan's Nikkei gaining more than 4%. Taiwan has proposed stricter monitoring requirements for 3 prescription drugs, including 2 emergency contraceptive pills. The proposal has sparked debate among medical professionals, women's rights groups, and the public. Ting Ye has the story.
Back in June, Taiwan's Food and Drug Administration proposed adding 3 drugs to the country's pharmaceutical tracking system: 1 abortion medication and 2 emergency contraceptive pills. The announcement also drew attention to a little-known fact. Emergency contraceptives have always required a prescription in Taiwan.
那主要的原因是因为近期有一些网络非法贩售的一些情势发生，因为追踪追溯主要是要求的对象是药商，药商他必须要把他的药品提供给哪些医疗院所啊，哪些社区药局提供，把他的流向到我们的平台去登录，所以我们管理的对象是药商，并没有管理到药局或者是民众个人，所以这一点是要特别说明的。
The FDA says the proposal is about strengthening oversight, not restricting access. But for many pharmacists, it has reignited a much broader debate over emergency contraceptives.
其实这次呢列出的3款药里面，我们可能要把它个别说一下哦。那第一个呢 ，misoprostol 的话 ，Cytotec， 好，商品名称叫 Cytotec， 它本身确实是在医生用专业判断上，它是用在引产、流产这方面的药物。那但是呢，后2个药物哈 ，levonorgestrel 或者是 ulipristal acetate 这2颗药物 LNG 跟 UPA 本身是属于紧急事后避孕药，所以我们应该把这3个药物拆成2类来看。
Some pharmacists say LNG and UPA shouldn't require a prescription. They note that the World Health Organization considers LNG a safe emergency contraceptive, one that's available over the counter in more than 90 countries.
尤其它的使用上来说，又会跟民众取得的时间有极度高度的相关。这颗药呢，在做紧急事后避孕药的时候，如果在12个小时内吃的话，它的效果可以高达95%。那12到48个小时吃的时候，它的效果就会下降10%左右。那超过48小时，效果又会变得更差。所以其实这颗药的药效极度跟时间在赛跑。
That concern is shared by women's rights groups, who argue that timely access is critical because emergency contraception becomes less effective the longer it's delayed.
那法规上面确实是，因为我们的事后避孕药都是处方用药啦，所以我们也不能够说政府它是现在改了新的办法，因为它就比较像是在落实管理。可是过去多数的女性其实在药局都可以直接购买 LNG 相关成分的药物，那忽然不能购买，其实女性她会有一个很实质的感受，就是我忽然没有管道可以去买到这些药物，或者是我可以买到药物的管道变少了哈。那对于某些偏乡地区的女性来讲，她就医又不是这么方便，那会不会影响到她实质的那个就是健康权益？这是我们蛮关切的地方。
The debate quickly spread beyond medical professionals. A public petition calling for emergency contraceptive pills to be reclassified as pharmacist-supervised drugs reached the required number of signatures in just 4 days. But the idea isn't new. An FDA advisory committee endorsed the same idea back in 2016, though it was never implemented.
就是针对这2种，那我们还是不太赞成改类。其实这2种药物对身体来讲可能造成恶心、呕吐啦、腹痛啦、出血啦，或者月经会变成絮乱不正常，或者你一直这样子就一直重复使用这种药物的话，对它未来的怀孕还是有影响的。
But there appears to be general support for easing restrictions on morning after pills.
觉得如果一定要有医生开处方签的话，可能会有一些就是不是自愿的这些行为会变得是他们很难保护自己。
如果已经有就是它已经有时效性了，然后你还不给它快速的取得的话，那我不知道这件事情有什么作用。
The FDA says it's reviewing the petition and looking at possible support measures before deciding on any changes. For now, emergency contraceptive pills remain prescription only in Taiwan. But the debate over whether they should stay that way is far from over. Patrick Chen, Hank Xu, Klein Wang, and Ting Ye for TaiwanPlus.
A plastic shortage sparked by the war in the Middle East has pushed Taiwan to find alternatives. An urgent boost in domestic plastic production has stabilized supply in the short term, but civil and public initiatives are turning the temporary crisis into a lasting green opportunity. Irene Lin reports.
Plastic bags, a daily necessity at the center of a minor panic in Taiwan back in March and April, when Iran closed off the Strait of Hormuz in response to attacks by the US and Israel. The resulting shortage of crude oil didn't just affect fuel prices. It also meant a lack of the raw material for making plastics. Months later, plastic supply in Taiwan has gone back to normal after the Economy Ministry ordered a boost in domestic production. Meanwhile, an alternative government-backed solution aims to help people choose greener options in the form of reusable and paper shopping bags.
中东战争，它整个影响到整个塑胶的一个价格，那它的成本就是飙升。那相对的，这个塑胶袋的价格也飙升啊，所以之前有一些相关的一些产销的一些问题啊，所以在这个时刻，我们就要想一想说，我们是不是在这个时候可以扩大去推动所谓的 The
Environment Ministry's project serves as a platform for redistributing reusable bags. Boxes are placed in office buildings for employees to donate unwanted bags. After sorting them, government workers send them to nearby markets, where shoppers can grab them for free. It also maps out locations where the public can donate or find the bags. So far, over 100,000 paper and reusable bags have been circulated across major cities. And there's been a stable supply from more than 180 businesses and institutions.
未来我们会觉得说，它应该会越来越多的企业会来响应我们这个代代相传的这一块的部分。那个量大了以后，其实我们还是要去寻求那个需求端去做一些消化了。所以在这块上面，其实我们有跟环保局这边做合作。
In one Taipei neighborhood, one store is taking an even more extreme approach to curb plastic use. The store's founder, Wu Siru, is one of the few zero-waste entrepreneurs in Taiwan. His customers bring reusable containers to buy loose goods and cleaning products. They also provide empty bottles for those who forgot to bring them. Wu says he hopes to help people rethink their shopping habits.
1995年代台湾，我们今天去买任何的东西，因为塑胶并不是非常的普及，而且可能很昂贵。 所以我们可能会用玻璃罐，然后我们可能会用金属，用不同的容器去装填这些东西，而且可能大量都是大批发。现在的消费可能就是强调个体，你拿了就可以走，而且有包装、卫生或是品质它都有控管。
But ditching plastic packaging doesn't happen overnight, and not all products can be sold this way. It took Wu and other zero-waste shop owners years of negotiating with the government to relax rules for external-use products like shampoo and body wash to be repacked and sold at their stores. While Taiwan's Food and Drug Administration has allowed for reinterpretation of safety laws, many manufacturers working with these stores are backing out.
因为早期他们其实有找我们去协商，当时是非常强硬的认为这件事是没办法处理啊，甚至他们认为这个管制会越来越严。 但是突然又一天就转弯了啊！那我们认为这转弯不是坏事，对，但是这个就是头到尾，我记得5、6年，所以这个进展其实让很多的愿意投入的人都采比较保守的态度啊。
Wu says for zero-waste stores to compete with convenience stores selling overpackaged goods, there needs to be more top-down support to encourage consumers to adopt a less wasteful lifestyle.
法规的宽松是一个。 然后可能也要去稍微鼓励一下这些上游制造商、销售端有没有更多的培力，让他们有机会可以突破这个系统性的问题。一次性的用品对环境或对土地的影响，如果可以被很清楚的勾勒出来，我觉得从政府端跟教育端是很不错的一个方向。
Whether it's recycled shopping bags or refillable cleaning products, public and private initiatives hope to stay long-term, so it can prove that reduction, not just recycling, is the ultimate fix for Taiwan's dependence on plastics. Yuan Duan and Irene Lin for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching TaiwanPlus News. Finally, today we leave you with images of thousands of rubber ducks turning a canal yellow in London for charity. I'm Betty Chen. Take care and see you next time.